of the heart and the treatment of shock. The musical definition of dopamine is our next guest, a woman who arouses liquid movement and intoxicating emotion while she grips your heart and heats your blood until it steams in your veins. Lorelei Carlson knows how to increase your pulse. I want you to think about that. She knows how to increase your pulse, but she also understands how to slow your mind so you can think about what she's telling you. She's the child of constantly moving diplomats who lived in 7 countries by the time she was 15. She knew early on she was special. She absorbed the world's music and culture and a determination to put them to work in her own way for the audience she knew would resonate with her. And they do. Over 1 million downloads, tens of thousands of fans, multiple albums and songs. She's on the edge of stardom, and we are honored to have her with us today. Lorelei, thank you so much for joining us on Music Friday Live.
Thank you so much. That was such an incredibly flattering intro, and I really like your definition of dopamine. That is very accurate.
Well, for you it should be, because that's you do it well, and in fact. You do it so well, I'm not quite sure where to start this conversation. Your new EP is so remarkable that it's almost intimidating in a good way. Everything about it, from the artwork to the title to the lyrics to the arrangement to what you do with your voice, come together perfectly. So I wonder, what came first, the concept, the title, the music? How did you put this together?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. It was, dopamine is sort of a postlude, if you will, to my previous effort, 20 milligrams, and it just sort of concludes that whole theme for me, really. But I didn't, it wasn't like this concept that I had sort of lurking in me for a long time. It was really just a very, naturalistic thing, and I just sort of wrote what I felt, and it came out that way. It turned out to be Dopamine.
Well, you've described your songs as dark and subtle and positive yet depressing. Now, there's a song on the Dopamine album that may be a pure expression of that positive depression. I want to play a little bit of it. This is great. Now that, of course, was your cover of Nirvana's 1991 song "Rape Me," which Kurt Cobain took great pains to explain was an anti-rape song. Now, your version moves like fresh blood in a test tube. It's liquid, it's hot, it's steamy, but it's passive. So did you do that song in what you meant when you said positive and depressing?
Did I say positive and depressing?
Yes, at one point you did.
Oh, okay. Well, I really love this song, first of all, and I really love that band. I really, connect heavily with Nirvana, and I think those are two pretty good reasons to want to cover a song. But I just kind of didn't want to, just emulate Kurt and do this sort of cartoonish karaoke version of the song. It just wouldn't have been fair to the artwork. So I thought it would be really interesting to put my own spin on it and interpret it the way that just felt the most naturalistic to me. And And as far as it, being positive and painful simultaneously, I mean, it probably is to a certain extent. It's definitely a very sort of twisted song, however you interpret it. But I think that's the beauty about that song is everyone is going to give it, their own sort of individualistic meaning,
Mm-hmm. Well, they do, as a matter of fact, very much so. In fact, we've got a couple of emails in already, right? This is Marshall in New York City who wants to know, do you think that your audiences understand that Rape Me is actually an anti-rape song?
Yeah. Well, it's funny he points that out. Probably, the average person who maybe isn't very familiar with Nirvana or Kurt Cobain might not know that. But now they do, right? If they're listening to this.
Yes. Good point. So you're educating people, which is one of the things that you can do in the music business. Speaking of the music business, the music business is a very tough business. You have to work really, really hard at it, and you personally have worked really, really hard at it. You're now, I think, your MySpace's #1 unsigned artist. Does that mean you can relax a little bit?
No, not at all. I'm never gonna relax about my music career. I think that there's a lot more that I feel I need to do, and I think that there isn't a specific base where one can just sort of say, okay, I'm accomplished now. It's just sort of this never-ending, cycle of progression and evolution. So.
Well, speaking of the fact that you're an unsigned artist, do you want to be signed, or are you happy the way you are?
I think that there are a lot of benefits and probably, a lot of downsides as well to being signed. I think ultimately, I think it would be nice to have that sort of label support, but being signed doesn't automatically mean you're going to have label support. Sometimes people get shelved or dropped or whatever it is. But after having done it independently for so long, I think just the terms of the deal would have to be something that I'm really comfortable with. But yeah, I think maybe someday.
Well, hats off to you for how well you have done on your own. We are talking with Lorelei Carlson about her new album, Dopamine, and you can talk with her. You can call in at 347-215-7511, or you can email her. If you're sitting there at work when you've got your headphones on, you're not really paying attention to that PowerPoint on the screen in front of you, send us an email. So several of you are. We're musicfridaylive@gmail.com, and we do have some more emails in here for you. We've got one from Mitchell in Austin, and Mitchell wants to know, when do we get to see her live? Is she going to ever come to South by Southwest, which, of course, is where Mitchell is? I don't know. Are we going to see you live at any time? Any plans to go to South by Southwest?
I don't have plans to go there right now, but I'd love to. But as far as getting out there live, that's actually something we're working on as we speak, booking some shows. And I'm actually just really perfecting my live band performance right now, because obviously this is a new set of songs, and I want to be sure to interpret them accurately and not just sort of get out there with an acoustic guitar and play for the sake of it. I want it to be a really good live show before doing that. So,
well, and I understand exactly what you mean, and I appreciate that very much. When you do, let us know. We would love to let people know about your live appearances. But in the meantime, we're gonna let them know about your recorded appearances, and this is the title track of your album. This is Dopamine.
He don't care and he don't share, so don't follow and don't swallow. Sit still, little girl, let the time become. Watch him unfurl till the clock hits 1. Till the clock hits 1.
And that, of course, is the title track to the album, Dopamine. That song is really full of emotion, but it's not necessarily positive emotions. What's the genesis of that song?
I mean, well, Dopamine, sort of the concept of the album really is just sort of about the human condition and my fascination with the lengths that we go to sort of achieve these heightened releases of joy or pain, and our insatiable need to just feed these addictions and that ultimately maintain us in this cyclical motion of life. And that's kind of what dopamine means to me, and that's what I wanted to channel in that song,
Well, you certainly did it, and extremely well. And I, as far as the selection of that as the title song, I think you're right on that one. It pulls a lot of things together. We've got some more emails here. We've got one person who apparently took a look at our website or your website and says that is a absolutely stunning photograph of you sitting down with your knees up, and wants to know who took it and did you strategically plan that for this album?
No, I didn't. It was just sort of it was a friend. I have a lot of friends here in LA who are photographers and such, and artists, and it was just sort of a last-minute photo shoot. It was actually taken here in my apartment, and we were just winging it, and it turned out to be a pretty decent photo, and actually took it a really long time ago, and here we are, a year later, using that photograph, so...
Okay, well, that's your answer. Incidentally, that was from Nazi in New York City. Now, Luis in St. Paul wants to know, what countries did you live in? Patrick mentioned you lived in a number of countries. Where did you live?
I lived in Peru, Colombia, Switzerland, Australia, Mexico, Chile, and the United States.
And of those, which is your favorite? Or do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I get that question a lot, and I really don't have a favorite. I just sort of, every place has been very unique to me and given me a very different experience, so...
Well, we talked about this earlier. I've lived in other countries, too, and one of the things that when you do move to a new country is that you learn to learn fast. You have to figure out your way around a new city, new street signs, new addresses, new customs, new language, new places to eat, new money. So I imagine that you have learned to adapt and learn really fast. Am I right on that?
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent. I thought I'd be really good at it by now, but I still have trouble. I think it's something that's sort of going to follow me throughout my adulthood as well. Just sort of being able to integrate smoothly and stuff in different communities. It's something that I'm still working on today. But it has trained me in other aspects of life, for sure. I mean, I do feel just very self-aware, and I'm a very empathetic person as well. So it's been good and bad, but it was a very unique childhood that I'm pretty grateful for. I almost wonder if it would have been just incredibly boring to stay in one place my whole life, you know?
Well, speaking of places, you're now, of course, in Los Angeles, and you have your album has a little nod to Los Angeles in it. Let's listen to a little bit of Sunset Boulevard here.
Okay.
I was so composed. Too bad I'll never get to see you grow old, but here we are. Everything just flows like a midsummer light breeze blows, and everything just flows like a midsummer light breeze blows. I didn't have to try hard on the boulevard too hard.
And that, of course, is Sunset Boulevard, and that's on the new album, which incidentally was released October 21st, and you can find it on iTunes. Actually, you can find it on all the usual digital places to buy albums, but probably easiest iTunes. The name of the album is Dopamine, or you can search by the artist, but probably if you just put Dopamine in there, I doubt you're going to get too many duplicate hits. But what does that say, that album, about Los Angeles? You've been here 4 years now. You're now in the what we like to think of as the music capital of the world, and even my New York guests kind of say, yeah, that's probably right. There's maybe 10,000 bands here and hundreds of clubs and studios and stuff. What does that song say about that, about L.A.?
Sunset Boulevard is really, I mean, it's, in my opinion, it's just sort of an accurate description of like the rapidity of falling in love in Hollywood. Not necessarily with a person. I mean, it can be anything, an object, and maybe just the aura of LA, and sort of how temporary everything really is, and the romanticism of that strange love in LA and in Hollywood, and not really knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. It's just sort of about the unknown.
Well, you've hit LA exactly right. I remember when I was in high school here, one day I bought a record album at a record store on La Cienega in Venice, and it got home and it was scratched, and I brought the album back the next day to exchange it, and the record store was gone. Which
man, that's
about
incredible.
how LA yeah, well, that's how LA.
Yeah, that's
LA
a great. That's a great depiction of that.
It is, and I remember that my entire life as a great depiction of that. I said in the introduction that I think you're on the edge of stardom. You seem to be preparing for this all your life. You had voice lessons in Switzerland. You learned to play the piano at 7. You were songwriting at 12. You studied the drums and the violins. Now that this EP is out, what's the next step for you? What's your strategy?
I don't know. I wish I had like this really articulate answer for you, but I'm sort of going wherever the wind blows me. I mean, I just put out this work of art that I it's sort of been my baby for over a year, and I really, just want it to get the exposure that it deserves, and hopefully that entails playing shows and, just online sort of sources and media. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see, I guess, what happens, right?
Well, I have a feeling that many good things are happening. We're getting close to our running out of time, but there's a question that's come in that I really want to ask you, and this is from Rastos, and Rastos is in Philadelphia, and he says, "Didn't you used to live in Philadelphia?"
Oh. Well, hi there. Yes, I did. I lived there for quite some time, not that long ago. I moved here from Philadelphia, so. And
he wants to know why you moved, and the last word in his email here is weather ?
Oh, no, I'm actually I'm an Eskimo at heart. I really love snow and igloos and frostbites. I came out here for music, and I've stayed here ever since. Just because I've been working perpetually on my music career. But I did visit Philly over the summer. It was nice to see everyone and be back there. It's definitely a place that is very dear to my heart.
Well, there's the answer to your question, and who knows, maybe you'll run into it or next visit to Philly. And I want to point out to everybody that you heard it here first, that Lorelei Carlson is really an Eskimo at heart. Right? You're going to remember that. But I also want to point out to everybody that this new album is Dopamine, and you can get it, and you should get it, on iTunes and other places on the net. You should also check out our website. For those of you who haven't seen that beautiful photograph that goes along with the album, her website is www.loreleicarlson.com, and that's ELEI, Carlson.com. And we're out of time, but we are going to go out with another cut from the album. This is Sandcastles. I want to thank you for spending the time with today. I just love this album. I'm looking so forward to seeing you do it in person. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate all the support.
Well, it's well deserved. And this is, like I say, we're going out with a song from her album. This is Sandcastles. You've been listening to Music Friday Live with Patrick O'Heffernan from Cyberstation USA, Blog Talk Radio, and our radio affiliates. If you like our Facebook page and you follow our Twitter feeds, you'll get real-time updates on our guests. Vote for your favorite musician on musicfriday.nationbuilder.com, and we'll invite them on the show. Our producer is Lars Christensen. Our program director is Jason Bartleben. Our intern is Angeline Serrano. You can download this and other Music Friday programs at blogtalkradio.com/Music Friday or on iTunes. Be here next Friday. Hannah Kim joins us with her new music, Written to Fight Human Trafficking. And also we're going to have a very special guest, also named Hannah, the world-famous electronic violinist who's now on tour in the United States. She's going to drop in and talk with us. So check our Twitter stream and our Facebook page for details on next week's guest. And right now, let me just wish everybody a great musical weekend. Bye. You're going to get a letter from the network with a URL in it that will allow you to download the interview, and you can use it wherever you want.